Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Students, today we will start our lesson, the second part of the lesson. Yesterday we started our lesson number 1. Its name was Nicobobinus. First chapter we completed yesterday, and in that part we learned that there was a boy who had different ideas in his mind always, and he mostly went out on expedition. And we also knew about one expedition that he went out with his one friend Rosie, and we also saw what happened to them. He just climbed up a wall of the garden and he lost his balance and fell into the garden. A man came there to grab him, but he saved himself and ran away. Now we see what happened to that boy now. Nicobobinus ran as fast as he could across the lawn, down the path, round the hedge, and into a little shed, and bolted the door. He ran away and he entered into a room and he locked that door. "Open up," cried the man, and the hinges creaked and the door shook as he banged it with his fists. "That door is not going to last long," thought the Nicobobinus to himself, and he dragged a large old stone roller up against it. There was a roller in the room just to support the door. He just held it. "Open this door at once. Do you hear?" the man was shouting, but Nicobobinus did not hear anything at all. He was too amazed by what he had found. Now we see it's mean that he had found there something, and that surprised him. What is that? We look here. "You shall have to come out eventually," the man was saying, "and the longer you leave it, the worse it shall be for you." But he could have saved his breath. Nicobobinus was on his knees examining what he had revealed when he moved the roller. He brushed off the dust and undid the catch and then lifted it up. It shows that when he moved the roller from there, he found there something, and actually it was a door. He just opened it. "Right, I'm going to break this door down," said the man, and then because he knew he had have to repair the door himself, he added, "Do you hear?" But Nicobobinus did not hear. Nicobobinus had disappeared through the trap door he had discovered and was running down stone steps that were slippery with the slime and that smelt of graveyards, and that went down and down deeper into the ground until it became pitch black. He found the door, he opened it, and he there found some stairs. They were going down, and he discovered that there was a room under the floor, and he just came down, and there he found himself into a room. "Rosie," said Nicobobinus to himself, "this is all your fault." There was no Rosie. Actually, he was thinking about her. He heard his heart pounding and his steps echoing along the dank rock of the narrow passageway. Dank mean moist. Until all at once there was nothing, and before he realized he was falling into the blackness he was. It means that there was nothing in that room and he found himself into quite darkness. Several thoughts flashed through his mind at the same time. The first was something along the lines of bother. It means that the first thought came into his mind to be worried about himself, and the second was the rather unkind thought about his best friend who had instigated the whole expedition, and it involved her dangling over a snake pit while numerous fierce dragons flew at her, chanting. In a very funny way, he was thinking about his friend who just had aroused the idea of getting on that expedition, and he thought about the bad ideas about her, about the bad endings of her. How could you do it to him? Poor Nicobobinus. And he himself thought that, how could I do with that poor girl? The third thought was, suppose it is a well, a deep, unused well with slimy, slippery sides that you could never climb, and icy water at the bottom. That there was a third thought in his mind, that he had fallen into a well and he could not get out of that well at all. At this point, he discovered it was not a well. He made this discovery very suddenly and very painfully. How he found it that, what happened next, we see here. "Ouf," said Nicobarbanus, and he lay there in the pitch blackness, with not a single breath left in his body, for what seemed like the whole winter, but was probably only a few seconds. He just lay there without a breath in his body. He felt himself very much weak at that moment. He came to himself, in fact, just as a stone hit him on the head. Suddenly he came into his senses. What happened to him? "Oh," said Nicobarbanus again, and then realized he could hear footsteps high above him. There was somebody coming inside now. "Stop, sir," he called out, but the footsteps kept on coming down. It's mean that the man who was behind him, he just surely broke that door and came inside. "Aha, I have got you now," cried the man, "and I shall beat every bone in your body until it is black and—" Nicobarbanus supposed that the man was going to say black and blue, but in fact the next word he uttered sounded more like Bakfuagump. It was not a word with which Nicobarbanus was at all familiar, but he understood its meaning perfectly and moved smartly out of the way. Crash! These sounds were actually of the man who slipped from the stairs, and he just rolled down on the stairs and just crashed into the room. Instead of grabbing that boy, he himself crashed into the room. "Are you all right?" he asked. There was a silence. It meant the man was unable to give any answer. He was not conscious. Nicobarbanus felt his way back in the pitch dark until his hand touched the man's leather jerkin. Jerkin means jacket. The man was laying as still as death, but he was breathing. It means that he was alive, but he was not in his senses. He could not talk now. "I must get help," said Nicobarbanus to himself, and he began groping around in the blackness to find another way out. When he found it, however, his heart sank. The only exit appeared to be a narrow gap down by the floor, no more than a foot high. He was actually looking to a way out, and there was just a hole to go out, and he was quite worried to saw that hole, because it was difficult to climb into that hole. "I can't squirm through that in the pitch dark." Squirm means to twist the body, he said to himself, but at that very moment he heard Rosie's cheerful voice saying, "You can do it." It was always the sound of Rosie who gave him the courage, and he thought himself to do this one. Nicobarbanus span round. It means he just moved his body, and there, to his immense surprise, was nothing. No Rosie, no anybody. There was nothing, but it was just his thoughts that he was thinking about Rosie. "But I don't know if it leads anywhere," he said to the voice in his head. He just talking to himself at that moment. "And it is such a tight squeeze. It might get stuck." He just thinking to himself that it was a hole, not enough to move inside. So he was thinking, maybe I got stuck there. He didn't hear Rosie's voice again, but he knew what it would have said, and that was how he found himself wriggling down a narrow passage of stone in the pitch black. He just remembered her sound. He was again get the courage, and he started to travel. He scampered and he wriggled there in the black for a long, long time, and the tunnel got narrow until he could hardly inch along. The hole where he started to move, it started to become more and more narrow, and it was much hard to move now. "I'm going back," he said to himself. But he didn't. He just kept wriggling and squirming until suddenly he found he could stand up. He took a pace forward and immediately fell over stone steps leading up. After some movements, he found a little bit bigger hole or bigger place to just stand up, and then he found himself on the stone stairs. "Oh," he said, although what he really meant was, "Thank goodness." He began to climb, and he was still climbing some minutes later. It must be tower, he thought, over the grandest house in the Venus, but at that very moment he saw a crack of light. There was a light from a crack. He stretched out his hand and found himself touching a catch that clicked softly in the dark. A panel suddenly slid open. It means his hand just clicked something and there was a door open in front of him, and Nico Babiner stepped through into the most amazing room he had ever seen. At last he was out of that building. It was very unexpected expedition of the boy. He did not even thought about it, and he found himself in a strange house of Venus, and then he managed to came out. It was all his luck that he could come out of that house. So it is very exciting story. It's the adventure of the boy and even of the girl also. I hope you enjoyed the story. Now we'll see the exercise and question answers.